Well, hello again. The music that you just heard has a lot to do with what we're going to be talking about today. I Sing the Mighty Power of God is an Isaac Watts tune. And we'll get into him in just a second. There is an interesting little tidbit about that tune. He wrote it for children. I Sing the Mighty Power of God. He wrote for children. Now forgive me, but I'm going to read something here. I just find it kind of interesting. This was written in about 1715, and he said, "Children of high and low degree, of the Church of England or dissenters, baptized in infancy or not, may all join together in these songs. And as I have endeavored to sink the language to the level of a child's understanding, and yet to keep it, if possible, above contempt, so I have designed to profit all, if possible, and offend none." Okay, Mr. Watts. How interesting. Last week we were talking about how things, Martin Luther got it started, borrowed songs from everybody. Zwingli came along, said, "No, we're not going to sing in church. It's just wrong." And then our beloved John Calvin, he came along and said, "Yeah, let's do that." However, he made it very restrictive. I found out recently that our beloved Mr. Calvin did not like harmony. He wanted it only to be a single note per syllable, and mostly psalms. He did not want harmony at all, which would, in my particular case, make for a pretty boring service, I think. Anyways, time passed and we get to Isaac Watts. And it's amazing what he did. Isaac Watts was a very prolific writer. Eventually wrote over 650 hymns. And at one time, out of a investigation into about 700 hymnals throughout the world, over 40% of them used Isaac Watts tunes. Just an amazing number. He was a very interesting person. Started writing his very first hymn when he was about 16 years old. He told his dad he went to church, he didn't like it, didn't like the hymns, said they were boring. And his dad looked at him apparently and said something like, "Well, if you don't like it, write something better." So he did. He started writing. He became the pastor of a church after a period of time. And then shortly, and this was in about 1701, and then shortly after that, he became quite ill. And he moved in with a parishioner just to stay for a month. One of the people in the church said, "I've got room," and he wound up living in that man's guest house for 36 years. And during that time, he wrote a total of nearly a little over 650 hymns. They were very simple. He used scripture almost constantly. We still sing several of his tunes, like the one just now. He did "Joy to the World," "O God, Our Help in Ages Past." We still use a lot of Isaac Watts stuff. He paraphrased scripture, but he also wrote using text from the Psalms. A very unique person. And he impacted us in ways that we just simply cannot repay. And the only other person that has had that kind of effect on us is the one we'll talk about next week, and that's Charles Wesley. The second hymn today, just to go back to that, is "Where Cross the Crowded Ways of Life." Another hymn that one person did the text and another person did the music. The text was written by a guy named Frank Mason North, who was a pastor, and someone asked him to write a hymn, and he said, "I can't write hymns," and then began to be a hymn writer. The music is called "Germany," and it was published in a collection by a guy named William Gardner. And the collection was basically, according to him, the music of Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven, and sacred melodies. And the term Germany, he attributed to Beethoven. But when he was asked about it, he never could quite prove it. So nobody knows. See you next week.